He thought he was just touring another property to flip. Until the front door opened, and he came face to face with the one woman he never thought he'd see again. Lucas Hart was used to luxury. Skyline penthouses, seaside villas, real estate deals sealed with a nod. So when his team told him about a quiet house in a forgotten part of town going up for sale, he didn't expect much. He came alone, casually dressed, just to walk through the place before deciding. The house was small, a little worn, but charming in a way he couldn't explain. As he stepped up to the porch and rang the bell, he glanced around at the overgrown garden, the faint sound of music playing inside. The door opened, and everything in him froze. There she was. No makeup, her hair in a loose bun, wearing an old t-shirt with paint on her fingers. But those eyes, those same eyes he used to look into during late-night study sessions, back when they were just two broke dreamers in college. "Emma?" he breathed out. She stared at him, stunned. "Lucas?" Silence. The world seemed to fall away for a moment. He took a step back, scanning the door number again. "Wait, this is your house?" She nodded slowly, still in disbelief. I didn't know you were the buyer. I didn't know you were the owner." And just like that, what was supposed to be another cold transaction turned into something neither of them saw coming. Emma stepped aside, hesitantly. "You can come in if you still want to see it." Lucas walked in slowly, his eyes scanning the familiar scent of old wood, faded curtains, and the warmth that only lived-in homes carry. The walls were marked with tiny scratches. He realized they weren't flaws, they were memories. "I bought this place with my dad," Emma said, closing the door behind them. 10 years ago, before he got sick. We used to fix it up bit by bit. But after he passed, it's just been me." Lucas turned toward her. "Why are you selling it?" She looked down. "Because I don't have a choice. The repairs, the bills, everything caught up. I held on as long as I could." He stood there, stunned. The Emma he knew was a fighter. Ambitious, stubborn, full of ideas and heart. She had once told him she'd open her own design firm and build homes that felt like people lived inside them, not like showrooms. And now she was selling her own? "You should have called me," he said gently. Emma gave a sad smile. "I figured you were too busy buying skyscrapers to remember this old house, or me." "I remembered everything," Lucas said quietly. "You were the only person who believed in me before I had anything." They stood in silence for a moment. She looked up, a touch of pride still in her voice. "You didn't come here for me, though. You came here for the deal." "I came here for a house," Lucas said, his tone changing, soft but certain. "But I didn't expect it to feel like coming home." Emma's eyes shimmered, but she turned away. "You still want to buy it?" He paused, watching her closely. "I don't want to buy it," he said. She turned, surprised. "I want to help you keep it." Emma's breath caught in her throat. "Lucas, no, I can't let you do that." "I'm not doing anything for you," he said, stepping closer. "I'm doing it with you. This house, it's not just bricks and wood, it's your story, your father's, your fight. And I'm not going to watch you lose it when I have the power to help." She looked at him, her eyes filling. "I've lived here alone for so long, I forgot what it felt like to have someone stand with me." Lucas gave a faint smile. "Then let me remind you." He pulled out his phone and called his attorney right there in the living room. "I want the sale canceled," he said, "and I want a partnership agreement drafted for property restoration, under her name and mine." Emma stared at him in disbelief. "You're serious?" "Dead serious," he said, hanging up. "You once said you wanted to turn this into a community space, art workshops, local classes. Remember that?" She nodded, slowly. "Let's build that, together. I'll bring the funding. You bring the soul." Emma's eyes shimmered. "I don't know what to say." Lucas looked at her, his voice softer now. "Say yes, and maybe, let this be a beginning, not just a fix." She hesitated, then whispered, "Okay." And in that small word, spoken in the middle of a worn-out living room, something powerful sparked back to life. Not just the house, not just the dream, but the connection they thought time had buried. Over the next few weeks, the quiet old house transformed, not just in paint and repairs, but in spirit. Emma walked through the rooms with rolled-up sleeves, design sketches tucked under her arm, and purpose glowing in her eyes. And Lucas? He showed up every morning, not with a team of investors, but with coffee, work gloves, and that same boyish grin she remembered from college. They sanded floors side by side, picked out tiles, chose colors for the guest rooms that Emma insisted should feel like sunlight on old skin. Lucas didn't argue. He never did when she talked about feeling. One evening, as they sat on the front porch, the scent of fresh wood still clinging to their clothes, Emma turned to him. "Do you ever regret it?" she asked. "Regret what?" "Leaving the version of life we talked about back in college. The tiny design studio. The garden behind your dream house. The dog we swore we'd name Cheddar." He chuckled, then fell quiet. "I chased everything I thought I wanted, and I got it, but it never felt real until now." Emma looked down. "I never hated you for leaving. I just thought, you forgot." Lucas leaned closer. "I didn't forget. I just lost the way back, until this house found me." She turned to him, eyes soft. "What happens now?" He reached for her hand, no big speech, no grand gesture, just sincerity. "We finish this house. We open it to people who need warmth. And maybe—" He paused, watching her reaction. "Maybe we stop pretending this thing between us ever really ended." Emma didn't pull away, because the truth was, the house wasn't the only thing being rebuilt. Their story, the one left unfinished years ago, had finally found its way home. If this story brought warmth to your heart, share it. Because sometimes, life circles back to where love first began.